everybody. So today I'm here to give you my review of In the Heart of the Sea. I just saw it today and I was really excited about this film. I thought it looked exciting. I've really enjoyed Ron Howard's movies for the most part, and he was the director of this film. And I really like Chris Hemsworth. I even liked Age of Ultron, which a lot of people didn't like. I like the Thor movies, which a lot of people don't like as well. So I'm a big fan of his. I think he is super pretty. I think he's very, very good looking. And so, yeah, and it has Tom Holland, who's going to be the new Spider-Man, so that's exciting. And I'm interested in the story of Moby Dick, and so all these things looked good. Fortunately, I was not a fan of this film. I did not care for it, and I kept trying to kind of be positive and think of things that I liked, and then I just realized, I'm like, I don't like this movie. And so at the end, I'm going to give a little warning, and then we're going to talk a little spoilers, so be forewarned. But because it's hard, because one of my main problems was the spoiler section. But the problem with this movie is that it's trying to be kind of everything, and so it ends up just feeling really bland and boring and slow, and you don't care about any of the characters. Gleason is Tom Holland as an old man, and he's narrating the story of, this isn't actually the Moby Dick story, which is, I wish they had done. No, this is the story of the boat that inspired the Moby Dick story. So Ben Whishaw plays Herman Melville. He goes to Brendan Gleeson, who is the Tom Holland character, and he gets him to tell this story. And it's really a survival movie. It's not an action movie. You'd think that it is an action movie, but action scenes are really kind of muddled and they're hard to follow. You don't really know where to look. And a big disappointment to me in this movie is that the special effects, which should be sort of the saving grace for a movie like this, don't look very good. I'm sorry, but a lot of the times you could see the green screen. You could just tell that it was a green screen. You could tell that they were filming, and it's not like Gravity, where I felt completely immersed in the experience. I felt I was in space. This looked like a boat in front of a green screen with waves, impressed behind them. It really did. And the CGI whales and stuff, it didn't look that good. I'm sorry. I was really disappointed about that. And the acting is kind of what makes it passable. The acting is pretty good. Cillian Murphy, Tom Holland, I'm very excited for him for the new Spider-Man because he was very good. He was good in The Impossible. He's good in this. It kind of follows classic survival story beats. I haven't seen that many of those movies, but it was somewhat predictable. And it's pretty gross. Like, I was sort of disturbed that a lot of people in my screening brought kids, and this is not a movie that's appropriate for children. It's not. And it's pretty grim. It's pretty disgusting. It's not the action adventure at sea that you think you're getting. It really, really isn't. And so, yeah, I really can't recommend this on any level. I thought it was gross. I thought it was boring. I thought it looked cheesy, and the special effects weren't good. And so unless you just want to stare at Chris Hemsworth for, 2 hours, which, there you go, you got it. But I would just rent the Thor movies and you'll be good to go. You don't need to see this film. It's just not well written. The characters are really muddled and confusing, and it's just a mess. It's not a good movie. We're going to talk about the spoiler section. So give you a second to turn off. Okay, so they end up chasing the white whale, the Moby Dick or whatever, who doesn't look very good. He looks very CGI. And their boat ends up getting destroyed. And they end up for 90 days being lost at sea. And it is pretty gross. It is pretty gruesome. They become gaunt. Like, you should see Chris Hemsworth. Just with like nothing, skin and bones. Tom Holland. And then there are 2 scenes in this movie of cannibalism. And that's pretty gross. And yes, I'm sure it did happen in the actual instance, but I don't know. I feel like it was kind of predictable too, in a weird way, but it was just, I don't know. It's just unseemly. it's not something that I want to see in a movie. And then there were also like gross stuff with the whaling, like with them like cutting up the whale. And yeah, I get it. It's a whale ship. Of course there is. But I don't know. If there was a way they could make it less gross. It was just disgusting. And like there's this long scene where Tom Holland has to dive into the blowhole or whatever you call it of the whale and get the oil, and it's gross. I don't know how to describe it. It's disgusting, and it's long, and yeah, didn't like it, especially in 3D. You got it like right in front of you, and just have the cannibalism, but they like talk about it and talk about, oh, they ate the liver first, and then that's just gross. And yeah, and then there's just lots of scenes with people dying and becoming, you see bones and you see bugs around them. It's just gross. And so I just didn't like that. I didn't think that was tense or handled well or necessary or anything that was a good movie. So I didn't like it. If you do end up seeing it, let me know what you think, if you agree with me or not. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.